Welcome to the Innovation Squadcast. If you are looking for a podcast about instructional strategies enhanced by technology, you came to the right place. In our conversations, we will talk with tech experts, share ideas and strategies to help you build your toolbox with tools that you can use in your class immediately.
Welcome to Innovation Squadcast, and thanks for making us part of your educational PD journey. First-time listeners, welcome, and for our returning listeners, welcome back. We are glad you are here today. We are talking top lesser-known Google tools. Thanks.
Yay, Google.
Yeah, shout out to Eric Kurtz and Patrick Hausman was able to attend a session that they provided all of these wonderful resources. And so in today's podcast, we are delving into the undiscovered gems within Google Suite of apps and tools specifically curated for educators. While familiar names like Google Slides and Drive take the spotlight, there exists a trove of lesser-known applications that can revolutionize teaching in the classroom. Join us as we uncover these hidden gems, exploring how they seamlessly integrate into educational practices. From fostering collaboration to enhancing creativity, these Google apps offer a number of possibilities to elevate the teaching and learning experience. Get ready to discover and leverage the untapped potential of Google's lesser-known tools for an enriched classroom environment. But before we get started, let's pause for this week's tech tip.
Today's tech tip is on using word art in Google Slides. I know we have a lot of resources to be able to use different fonts, but there are some things you can do directly in Google Slides to make your lettering a little bit more interesting. So what I'm going to do is, this is actually from Tony Vincent. I went to a word art workshop that he had, and the resources are linked in the show notes. This is a slide where I can show you exactly how it works. On the bottom, he has the directions. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just click on this slide, and I'm going to click Insert, and I'm going to click on Word Art. And then I'm going to go ahead and just type the word border, so that way you can see what it looks like once I type it in there. And it's just kind of boring right now, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the font. My new favorite is Rancher, so I'm going to scroll down and find Rancher. Once I have my word there, I'm going to click on it. I'm going to go up to the top where it says Format, and I am going to go down to where it says Borders and Lines, and then you can change border color, you can change border weight, you can change border type, and you can change border dash and border decorations. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to change my border type to, let me do triple. So that way you can see it almost looks like it has a few lines, and then I can even change the color. I can personalize a color by clicking on the little eyedropper that says pick a custom color, or I'm going to go ahead and just pick a color, and now my border is that color. And the fill color, I can go ahead and click on the bucket and choose a different color. I might change that color to be a little bit lighter, or a gradient. So now I have a triple border. If you want to change the thickness of it, I'll go to the border lines, and this time I'm going to go to border weight, and I'm going to change it to 8. So that way my border is a little more obvious. And you can just play with the different settings, just explore. So all you have to do is type in your word in word art, and then go to Format at the top, and then go to Borders and Lines and play with the different settings that are there: border color, border weight, border type, border dash, and border decorations.
Hope everybody enjoyed that tech tip. I'm Jimmy Kate.
I'm Pam Hubler.
And we are talking lesser known Google tools. And I got the Googliest of them all, Pam Hubler here, ready to dive into these. And yeah, so it was really exciting when I go to the session and they really started breaking down all of the different things that were available that I had no idea about. And so I thought, you know what, let's share these with the teachers of Berkeley County and see, hopefully they'll find at least one thing here that they can use.
Definitely.
Yep. And the two that kind of stood out to me right away and that kind of work together, and that's Google Earth and Google Time Lapse. I think everyone's heard of Google Earth and used Google Earth, but I think that sometimes people think of it as just a finding thing.
Right.
But especially like in a social studies class or a science class, the Google Earth and time lapse can really kind of revolutionize what's going on. And I think what is kind of underutilized is the street view feature, whereas you can go, like I went to the Coliseum, I'm helping out a seventh grade class, then they're going to be building these kind of tours around Europe. And so I was like, well, we could use Google Earth, because you can actually go street view into the Colosseum. Like you can do outside the Colosseum, you can be inside the Colosseum, get this kind of street view look using Google Earth. And so that really opens up the possibilities to take these kind of virtual field trips, do virtual, ways for that, students can see these in definitely a different light than they would have ever if they were just looking at a picture, or, using the regular kind of even the Google Earth top down, but being able to drop down inside of that, I thought was pretty cool.
That's also one of those things, like when it comes to students not being able to travel and things like that, it's great for that. And I think there's going to be a new update where it has like a live, I'll have to find the actual resource, where inside that you can actually see live videos.
Yes. And then Google Time Lapse has this feature where you can kind of, put it over a certain area. I was actually able to do Cane Bay the other day, from 1984 till I think it was 2022, and it shows the time lapse of the growth and how that area has expanded over time, and just to watch a whole area kind of explode over time. And so that definitely would be able to prompt some different writing and discussions in your classrooms, showing the kind of impact that that has on areas. So I thought those two are really cool to start out with.
That would actually be really neat with, I know a lot of, like at Daniel Island, they do where they talk about when you get rid of the area for coyotes, which Daniel Island was, I mean, it's a farm area.
Right.
So that would be really neat to see the growth and maybe watch the differences between what it was then and where those coyotes may have gone to.
Yes. The next one was auto draw. Yeah. So auto draw was one that that I need, because I have absolutely no artistic ability whatsoever. And so what's nice about this one is that you can kind of start to draw something, cars, smiley faces, different types of animals, and then it will kind of auto populate a version of that. And you can pick from the different ones that you want, and then be able to capture that image and plant it wherever you want. So this is good for teachers. This one might be also good for students as well. Again, most of these are going to be teachers. A lot of these are kind of experimental in ways as well. So probably leave them to that. But this one might be one that could be used by students who, if you're wanting them to incorporate some kind of art into their projects, but they get self-conscious about their lack of artistic skills. This can kind of bridge the gap between that as well.
Yeah, with their Chromebooks, they just use their finger to draw, and then the little emoji looking things pop up on the top where, this is what I wanted. Like I drew a rabbit horribly, but then, because it's hard to write with your finger, then you just click on that little rabbit and it gives you one that you can just copy and paste.
Perfect.
Oh, Emoji Kitchen.
Yes, you're telling me about
is, Emoji Kitchen is very cool because there's all sorts of emojis we can get, but this one actually has where you can put two together and it makes a new emoji.
Yes.
So it's a little bit more personalized. And I have one in the show notes where it's the whale, and then it has like the little smiley face with the hands, and then together it just makes, I don't know, makes me think of Baby Shark.
Yep. And this just takes presentations to another level, or you can do something fun, your morning warm up or anything like that. So some of these are experimental, some of them are productive, some of them are also just fun as well. So
Google likes to do all those Google experiments, which I do love. But often they are only for teachers because they haven't been used long enough really for us to unblock them for kids. So this is definitely for teachers.
Yes, and all of the ones that we have in the show notes have links to them. They're unblocked at the time in the recording of this podcast. We always have to have that depending on when you're listening to this. Could have obviously changed between now and then. Another one in there is Google Scholar. This one actually allows for you to find, what I really found was fascinating was the case studies, but you can kind of find more scholarly peer-reviewed resources, so that if you really want to make sure that your students are finding something that has a little bit more bite behind it, using Google Scholar could help as well. Or if you need to find information that has a little more bite to it, again, Google Scholar is the way to go.
Yeah, then you're getting actual published articles, not
usually
just blogs or
well
things like that. Yes. And then the next one I have in here, I think this is one of the things that we forget about, because Google Docs you use all the time. Google Drawings, maybe not as much, but
it's lesser known.
Yeah, exactly. So when you're using Google Docs, you can click on insert drawing and it'll add a Google drawing inside the document. And the example from Eric Kurtz, also a different session I went to, is for teachers to create a doc with the graphic organizer embedded in it.
Yep.
So that way all the students have to do is literally click on the image, it opens, they can add their information. And then when they click save, now their information is in the graphic organizer. We're not worried about any of the formatting and things like that. And then you basically just give them their own copy. So it would be a really cool way to use graphic organizers. And he has a whole folder, Google Drive folder of things that are already created templates. So, and I have that linked in the show notes too.
He's got a ton of resources.
Oh, he does a ton.
He might be even a little Googlier than you.
Oh, he's absolutely. No, I look like I don't know anything compared to him.
He's good. So yeah, definitely check out his resources as well. One of those is really a quick one, but it's these instant search cards that Google has, that if you type in the Omnibox, and we listed a bunch of them here, you can flip a coin, random number generator, roll dice, calculators, timers, definitions, unit conversions, finding the area and volume, even play some games if you get bored. Don't tell your kids about that one, but you can.
They probably already know.
I think Pac-Man was one of them, right?
Yes, it's still there. Yes.
Okay. So you can just basically type that really quick, flip a coin, and the coin immediately shows up and flips. Type in random number generator, boom, number generates right there. So really cool, kind of quick way to be able to, break up different groups, come up with something, just a fast way to get through Google in a way.
I use a timer all the time because you can literally just type, set a timer, set a timer for 5 minutes, and it'll just pop up and it'll start. And I do love that because it's very quick. I do that during sessions all the time.
Yes. Google Trends is another one. Google Trends is also one that you could use to generate some good discussions or writing topics. And what it does is it has broken down the top searched things through the years, and also breaks them down by categories as well. And so being able to, be able to do that kind of quick search, like, okay, why were people searching for this particular topic at this time, right? Really open up some discussions and open up some good writing topics and prompts that could really get kids excited about writing. So.
Yeah, that could be a nice like morning work kind of a thing where they're searching maybe a certain year, even what was going on in that year. All right. So be internet awesome. Yes. I know you had that on here. And this is, I think, the coolest way to have digital citizenship in your classroom because it's gamified. It's done by Google. So the graphics are beautiful. And it's just kind of fun.
Yes.
So it is pretty cool. And since it's gamified, it's fun.
Yeah. So it takes the digital citizenship, which is a very, very important topic nowadays and something that everyone needs to be aware of, but being, kind of making it in a nice little fun, nice way. So.
Yes.
Another lesser known one through Google is called life tags. What this one does, and we were messing with it here, is that it has basically a database of all Life magazine photography. And you can search for different topics and see if a Life, photographs kind of emerge from that. You can find historical people, events, and be able to either, again, have writing discussions, maybe insert those, use those images for different things. And so it has a ton of resources and things that are available for you to find inside of Google. It's part of the Google Arts and Culture, which we're going to talk about a little bit later. It's one of the experiments inside of that. So I kind of wanted to separate it from there. We put in lots of different, we just put in Space Shuttle over here, and it brings up basically all of the different images that have ever appeared, inside of Life magazine's, very famous photographies. So.
Yeah. And then you can actually click on it. It gives you some like definitions, and there's a lot of things you can go through. So it's a pretty cool,
it's a great resource.
Yeah, it is.
Data search is one that allows for you to find basically current data and be able to, so in math, statistics courses, science courses, etc., for just wanting to kind of look at any kind of data search, this is a good place to start for that one as well. So.
All right. And you got Google Maps, planets and moons. Yeah, this is cool. I didn't know this was a thing until you showed me.
That I got into as well. So you got your Google Maps, but it also has now a feature when you do the planets and moons that you can get a nice, like really zoomed in picture of different planets and different moons that were out there. And so it's very zoomed in, so you can't zoom out, but you can zoom in pretty close. And so if you really wanted to show like the crater impacts of the moon, you can be able to do that, pretty easily using Google Maps planets and moons if you're still studying the solar system, or just talking about space in general. So
that is very cool. And
yes.
then Google Fonts. I think
Yes.
this is, I am a font snob. I've mentioned that multiple times before. But I think what I like about Google Fonts, especially if you're creating resources and you want to use a font, it's nice because you can see what it looks like if it was in bold,
Right.
or, it makes it a little bit easier to tell whether or not you want to use something for its readability or if it's just the effect that you want to use.
Doesn't it have like little filters too? Like you can kind of search, like if you wanted to make it a certain way, I thought.
I believe, you can actually do color.
Yeah.
You can do.
Yeah, you want it to be decorative. You want it to be something you display.
Classifications.
Yes, you have different classifications, so you can kind of filter what you're looking for, and then it'll give you some options, and then be able to preview what it would look like, and then also apply it. So yeah, it has a lot of different cool stuff.
Lots of symbols. They've got icons, and they even have the little section. Just fonts knowledge, which is kind of cool, especially if you're learning graphic design,
right?
Like how to choose a type or open types, web fonts. There's a lot of science that goes on behind it, I guess.
Yes.
So it is pretty cool.
Absolutely. And then we have Chrome Canvas. It's like a lesser version of auto draw. You don't get the auto features, but you can just do a quick little hand drawing with it. You can save the image using Chrome Canvas. So it's just, again, lesser known. And again, these that last couple ones are very kind of more of the experimental ones that we were kind of really lesser known ones that we were looking into that were really cool. So
yeah, and you can't. I don't think you can actually. You can save the image, but you can't share it.
Correct.
So it doesn't let you log in. So probably just for security purposes.
Yes. Verse by Verse was one that was really kind of interesting. It allows you to create some kind of different poetry with the style of different poets. You could actually also mash different poets, bring them together. So you could do Emerson and Whitman would write a poem about a word, and you put that word in, and then it spits out this poem that you could write, and then you can have people break it down, talk about it. So there's this kind of really cool experimental look at Verse by Verse with lots of different poets.
I like that. You can choose like who are your muses, who are your favorite poets.
You get up to 3 different muses of the different poets, and then be able to create something that was kind of interesting. Yeah, Robert Frost is in there.
I'm
Longfellow,
Walt Whitman,
Edgar Allan Poe. So, and then it creates a nice little poem for you. So, and then kind of another experimental one is the Chrome Music Lab. Chrome Music Lab was one that, especially it'd be kind of fun for like a music class. It allows you to kind of make different songs. You can kind of, put different, it has different instruments. You can kind of put those together. It has a rhythm section. It has voice spinners, lots of different kind of fun little music tools, has string options, harmonics, piano rolls.
It'd be awesome
chords.
For music teachers.
Yeah, definitely for our music teachers. We got something for you here. You can make different songs. So lots of different, again, experimental things with Chrome Music Lab.
Yeah, and the duet is also another experiment that would be great to go along with that.
Yep.
And it's a piano that responds to you?
Yes. Yeah. So you would play something and then it would respond how it thinks it should based off of that as well. So for kind of our CTE or maybe our English classes that sometimes work in the field of interviews, interview warm-up is going to, kind of provide interview style questions that you can respond to. So this is a way that if you had some, working on those work and life skills, job skills, this is a way that you can let your students create some questions and take those and practice using the interview warm up as well. So.
And then, of course, you have Google Arts and Cultures in here.
Yes, that's a big one.
So many things. I think my favorite is actually one that you use on your phone, but it was the art. Now I forgot. It was Art Selfie. Yes, where you can compare a picture of yourself, and it will compare other things in museums and all that, so that way you can find pictures or portraits, I guess, that look like you. But that is not on the computer. That is on an app.
Yes.
What else does it have on here?
Yeah, so just, I mean, you can explore, there's tons and tons of different experimental little things that come with this. You can go to different places. You can get historical figures, historical events, art movements, mediums, artists. That has videos. It has just a absolutely, ton of resources that you have access to using Google Arts and Cultures. So I would definitely encourage you to go check this one out, see if there's something that you can use inside of your classroom. It has, just different ways of looking at, I think there's even museums that you can go to.
Yes, the 360
videos that you can go into. So there's just, it'd be almost like its own podcast in a way that we could go into Google Arts and Culture, but definitely recognize, again, go to the link in the show notes, check it out, and just start exploring and seeing what you can use inside of your classroom. And then last one on our list is applied digital skills. Another way of teaching some kind of form of digital citizenship as well. And plus it also has already kind of ready-made digital skills for you to be able to kind of, roll out to your students. So as you go in as a teacher, and you can start teaching practical skills. It has project-based curriculums, skills for school and life, that allows you, has different lessons. It has how to make art with Google Sheets, which you could also learn that from Kendall. It has, you can organize your files and drives. So it has resources for you. It has resources if you want to collaborate with classmates to create an interactive story using Google Slides. It walks you through how to use that. And it has over 100 different lessons in there that you can use that are working with digital skills and being able to kind of enhance that tech into your lesson, make that small little shift. Enhancing the tech, will empower the students, that creativity, that collaboration, and that communication that we look for.
And I like that it's available, like it'll ask you what best describes you. So students can use it, even parents, guardians can use it as well, depending on what skill that they're actually looking for. And browsing that curriculum is nice because you can definitely target your kids that you really want to work with.
Yes. So that is our top kind of lesser known Google tools. I hope you guys enjoyed those. Definitely check out the show notes for this one, because there are, again, linked everything in there that we could link. If we went over something too fast, go check out the link and let us know. Let us know if you found something in there that you liked. There's links to the podcast video, there's links to the tech tip video, and links to the Innovation Squadcast PD and Unified Talent every 2 episodes, 1 hour of renewal credit. And don't forget to subscribe on YouTube or Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts so that you get notifications of all of our new episodes. And we want to hear from you. Okay. What podcast topics do you want to be on the podcast? Did you use one of our resources? And did we forget one of the lesser known Google resources? Let us know, and we'll be happy to give you a shout next one and make sure that people know about that Google resource.
Yes.
Pam, thanks for always being here and sharing us your Google knowledge. And everyone out there, thank you for listening. Until next time. Bye.
Bye.